So I bought the frequencies roughly, I was trying to remember, 2008, because I got to know about...
2009.
2009, there you go.
Yeah,
Wow.
they only came in 2009.
Thanks for correcting me.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. It's the second time. So I got to know about it through a very close friend of yours. I forget her name again, but she's from Pune, and since then initially I experienced a lot of synchronicity, and then I used to find the frequencies really hard to hold for a long time in the beginning, and Thrity kept saying that it'll change, it'll happen, and I kept doing whatever I was asked to do. I used to do the very basic exercise of putting those frequencies on the photo and the name, or whenever I had to deal with or work with some people, I would write their names on a piece of paper and put the frequencies on them. But then I started using the frequencies in my hands, and then did that twice a day, and then I moved on next to using it whilst I was meditating, and that was the best experience, because it really helped. Keeps you calm and give you a clear mind. I couldn't. Thrity had warned me not to wear them when you're going to bed, but I actually once mistakenly did go to bed with wearing them on me, and when I woke up in the morning, I felt really calm and clear, and I called up Thrity and I told her that. I don't know what her reaction was, I can't remember, but then I thought that maybe it works, and I kept doing that. But once I experimented using the reverse of the frequency, and that was very strong, and that morning I woke up with a headache, so I realized that there's a limit to it. But for quite some time, maybe 3 years, I think, I couldn't hold the frequencies for a long time, because it would just be too much for me.
In what sort of way? Can you explain?
Like, if I held them for too long, it was just too intense, and it was just not, and I could think that was a similar experience with other people who have made to hold the frequencies, and they would say the same thing, oh, there's something buzzing happening, I can't, just take it away from me, something like that. But with me, it was more like I couldn't hold them for longer than 15 minutes or something like that. I can't remember between that time and now what all has happened, but a lot of different things have happened, and I've experimented it with putting them on my eyes. If I had a tired day, I would just come home and put them on my eyes, so you could just choose whichever you want to put, the pink on the left or the pink on the right. And that also helps a lot, because it relaxes the whole area around this part of your head, and you're free from the tiredness you come from work or from travel or for anything else. Most importantly, this I discovered, this part of my head or brain or whatever you want to call it, is so important that actually it governs a lot of things I do. My reading, my working, my everything, because basically all our energy is focused out from here, and if that is dampened, then your potential is reduced, at least in my view, for my case. So I experimented with that a lot, and last year or year before last, we had this gathering. I did
2015.
I did share this with everybody else in the room, and I think everybody should try that. And don't do it for too long. Don't do it for more than 5 minutes, because there's a threshold. If you pass that, then you've gone the other way around. Then you're not relaxed anymore. You're coming back from, being a bit more tired. So try to figure out for a minute, maybe for 2 minutes, maybe for 3 minutes, and then just stop. Because you don't need to get too relaxed. Just hit that point of relaxation, because I think it's also healing. Because at some point in time, I thought it was also helping with my vision. The way I found that out is because there's an indicator on the train station where I live, and the board is not digital. It's like the old LEDs, or not even LCDs, LEDs. And I try to gauge my vision by looking at that from a distance. And if it's a bit hazy, then I know that my vision is the same or is getting worse. And I've noticed that actually I can read the letters on the board without having to squint or go closer. I don't know how much it helps, but I have seen this difference. So try it out for your eyes. And just recently, and I spoke to Thrity about it as well, I had this mouth infection last weekend. I must have eaten something. And so for nearly 24 hours, I was in pain. Every time I ate something, it would hurt me, because there was a swelling inside, right behind the tongue. So I held the frequencies before I went to bed, and I actually put it I wore a hoodie that night, and I just left it there for overnight. And the morning after I woke up, I could feel there was much less pain, And the previous night before I went to bed, I actually gargled my mouth with salt water. But I didn't think it did anything. The next morning I did that again, and the swelling burst and the pain subsided. And that morning and that whole day I could eat without any problems. But the previous morning, so I think that the infection was expedited with the help of it, because I have had mouth infections in the past and they would last me for a week for some reason. And if you go to the GP, I don't know, they probably prescribe you a painkiller or something. They don't have anything prescribed. So I called up Thrity did you call? No, I called you the day after. And for me it was quite important because I had to run a workshop that day, and the day after I had few other things that I need to do. I cannot just afford to be in agony and try to do work, because it just affects your concentration. So, and I have tried this on aches and pains on different parts of my body on the back, and it works. So you just lie on your back and you leave the frequencies on that part of your back that's aching you, and if someone can help you, just slowly glide it along the spinal cord, around that area, and it definitely helps ease the pain.
Which frequency is it?
It's the RTLF. Yeah. So I've been experimenting with these for quite some time. And the most recent one, it's probably for a year, and I've been telling Thrity this for that amount of time. So initially I mentioned that I couldn't hold the frequencies more than 15 minutes. So now I can hold the frequencies for the whole day, carry it in my pocket, do whatever you want me to. I don't feel the frequencies are on me for some reason. I don't know what that means. Maybe some of you are experts in this area. I'm sure the two of them here are. But I don't feel the frequency. I don't have that reaction at all that the frequencies are a bit too intense for me. I don't even know they're on me. And very often I wear them in my pockets and I go to bed, because it just, it does something probably. But I don't, on a physical level or a mental level, I don't feel that I'm wearing the frequencies on me. So if somebody has an answer to why that's happening, I'd like to speak to you. But so from 2009 till now, which is about 7-8 years, nearly 8 years, that's what the frequencies have done for me. And I've used a lot of it for affirmations, actually, because I would write down affirmations and I would put the frequencies on them, and the affirmations are working. I leave them and I forget about them. I don't think about the affirmations, and then they're just sitting there.
Thank you.
So when they are not on me, they are on my affirmations, on my photo, and stuff like that.
You're a regular user, basically.
I have become a regular user, more regular than when I initially started. Initially, I used to just use them 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, or sometimes.
But that was still regular, though.
That was quite regular,
Yeah.
but now it's even more regular. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just wanted to add, I also have the universal IAM universal frequency and the wellness frequency whenever they were released. So for that long, and I've been wearing them on me all the time, so I don't take them off. And just like she mentioned, like things are happening around me and they don't affect me as much. And I have had colleagues comment me on this one. He says like, what's like, how do you maintain this calm? Like, there's all this rubbish going on, you're still like in control, and so I have nothing to explain because I don't know that I'm not reacting. For example, it takes a bit to get me wound up, and then it's a different thing. But unlike everybody else is constantly in a reactive mode, like every small pin drops and they have started a chaos, drama. That I don't get into that quickly. So just wanted to add that.
Thank you.
Adding coherence to the field.